Alright, here we are, we're back, and in this tutorial we're going to actually create the image. First we have to save our UV map or UV layout, and to do that you go to Polygons, UV Snapshot, and it's going to be sent to my images folder. So I'm going to say roof, and I'm just going to hit, first I'm going to need to select my object and hit OK. This is going to be a 512 by 512 map. That was, I don't know if you saw that in the UV snapshot, but that's the dimensions. So now that I have that, in Maya, there's something called paint effects, which is, they're kind of neat, but I'm not going to get into them much. But as part of the system, you can draw these 3D paint effects, but there's also a painting tool somewhat similar to Photoshop. And if you have Photoshop or GIMP and want to use that for this part of the exercise, please do it. It's going to be more straightforward. You can do some layering with your UV layout. But if you don't have it, you can do this part in Maya. So the shortcut key to get to the painting section is the number 8. And that's going to bring you up here. And you need to open an image. And I'm going to go to my, not my source images, I'm going to go to my images folder, and I'm going to grab roof and open it, and let's try that again. Canvas, open image, roof, open. Let's start our new image. Let's give it a background first. Apply texture, canvas, that's what I'm thinking. If you know Photoshop, it's going to be a lot easier here. But so you can select your color. So I'm just going to kind of find out where the edge of my, you can zoom in and zoom out. Now this isn't going to be part of it. I'm just trying to see the limits. I don't like that. Is this the background color? I don't know. Oh, so this is right at the top. Alright. Now all that will be ignored. It's only going to start looking at things here. So I can begin painting directly. That you do have different brushes. You can get a brush. I don't know. There's almost too much here. I don't want to distract you too much. I was wanting to see if there was anything that I could make a roof texture with. Yeah, I'm afraid to get into any of these. I just need something like a basic brush. Let's go to airbrush. Alright, we'll just do a default paintbrush. I'm going to pick a brown, reddish brown, and I'm going to color over my map. And the only part that's going to be recorded when it's looking for texture information is what's inside those lines. Okay. Now you don't want to do any of your shading here. Like you don't want to designate, where it's darker on one side of the roof than the other. You want to let the material do that kind of shading. Now I'd probably need to designate. Alright. There's probably a way I could just fill the canvas. Okay, so I know I have it covered, and then I think B is what's going to make your brush smaller. Now, if you're good with Photoshop and you want to use real images here, be my guest. You could bring in a roof texture and make this look really good. The purpose of this exercise isn't necessarily masterful images applied. I want to make sure you know the concept behind mapping, that you know how to lay out something so that the images applied are not distorted. I think this last part here is just going to be probably the wood part. Alright, and do the same on this side. I like my shingles. Fantastic. No. I'm thinking somewhere around here is going to be the under part of the wood, under the roof. You'd never know I do Photoshop for a living, do you? No. Yeah, this is pretty bad. If you find a better brush, go ahead and use it. Put a little bit of interest in here. Just some random discolored tiles or whatever these are. Shingles. Alright. The concept is what I'm looking for here. I want you to understand the concept. Alright, so you have your UV layout, and you have where we need to paint it over it. And now I'm going to go and I want to save the snapshot. And this is going to go to my images folder. And I'm just going to call this roof. Colored, and save it. And then I go to 8. I come back in here, and you need to click up here to get kind of out of that paint effects tool. Still down there, but just don't hit the number 8. So we make material. So a new material, Lambert. And on the color, we want to map a file texture, and then on that file texture we want to choose our roof map. Alright, now I haven't done the rest of it, but you can see kind of the roof is basically how I wanted it. And if I wanted to adjust, I can still do that, which is kind of cool. Once you have an image, you could just put in a roof texture. And let me just demonstrate that for a second. Image, UV texture editor. So once it's here, I can move around this shell